And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, no worries there. You can check out our YouTube channel. We post all of our episodes there daily as well. And then we are also on podcasting apps. Spotify is the big one. Still waiting approval from the other big ones, but hey, Spotify, that should be good enough, right? Come on, I listen to Spotify. Just go to Spotify. Go to Spotify. So whether you want to watch live, watch later, or just listen, we've got you covered in multiple ways. Alrighty, today's Monday. What am I talking about? We already watched the game. So today on our show, Monday, we break down all the games from yesterday, and there were some wild ones. And then we've got two games today that we got to break down and give our moneymaker picks as well. So packed show today. So without further ado, let's get into it. But I do want to start off the show by congratulating the New York Jets on their first win. Yes, finally. It took 13 weeks, but they finally got their first win. What? What? They lost? There was the last play, I turned it off. There was like 10 seconds left. They were at the 50. It was game over. I mean, they gave up a Hail Mary? They did? No. Can you send me the play? You got the play? Can you send it this way? Okay. My producer just told me that the Jets ended up losing. Is that right? He said he's got the play. He just sent it over. All right. I guess I didn't watch this. I turned it off. Let's see this. So this is exactly where I turned it off. 13 seconds left. There's no timeouts. They've lost. I mean, the Jets won. It's an all-out blitz. It's a Hail Mary throw. The corner got beat. Wide open. Touchdown. Jets lose the game. What? Oh, my goodness. It's just absolutely atrocious, folks. This is why Adam Gase is the worst head coach in the league. And let's just jump into our stories now because where is this one? Where is it? Did I not open it up? Oh, how embarrassing. How embarrassing. Well, the Jets fire their defensive coordinator, Greg Williams, because of that blitz call at the end of the game. Lost their only game that they probably could have won, so they get the defensive coordinator out of there. Adam Gase should be on his way out as well. I understand, it was the defense that let it up, but I don't care. Adam Gase needs to go as well. He's also trash. So, I mean, let's just talk about this play real quick. Yes, it's a Hail Mary. Is this a good call? No, to blitz everybody on a Hail Mary. What do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys rushing the passer. And, I mean, it's a decent strategy. You're on the 50. I mean, there needs to be time to develop down the field for him to get this ball off. So, I mean, it's not the worst strategy to go and blitz everybody. It's just not the best strategy to use. I mean, go play prevent. Just have everybody deep. I mean, the goal of this situation is to catch the ball, not have the passer not throw the ball. Can you follow that? I don't know. But Jets, they fired the defensive coordinator, Greg Williams, because of the blown call. I mean, I don't think he's a good defensive coordinator anyway. A lot of people do praise this man as a good defensive coordinator. I've never seen it. But, yeah, the Jets get rid of him. I would say that's the right choice. All right, we'll talk about the Jets more when we get there, but let's move on to some other stories. This is a developing story. DJ Moore, among other Panthers, heading to the COVID-19 list now. They haven't said what these other players are, who these other players are, and we also don't know if DJ Moore has COVID or is a close contact, high risk. So we don't know any of that. We just know that there is a COVID situation in Carolina. They are coming off of their bye. They are playing this week coming up. That's going to be huge. Who's going to be out, who's going to be playing for Carolina come Sunday. We'll have to keep an eye on this as it develops throughout the week. But so far, DJ Moore is the only player that was named, the only named player. There are other players heading to this COVID-19 list, but DJ Moore, I mean, their best wide receiver, that's not good. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then this is just funny again. I mean, the win probability for the Raiders and Jets. I mean, Jets get it up to 90% win, folks, right there. Look at this. This is like 95% right here, with like 13 seconds left, as we saw. So they are just absolutely trash when you think you have the win and it gets snatched from you because your defensive coordinator wants to blitz everybody on a Hail Mary attempt. When you've got Derek Carr, who has the arm, when you have, fast receivers down the line that can burn the Jets corners. Oh, man, not the best call. Lost his job because of a call. How unfortunate. And this just kind of ties in what this season, what the the title of the season should just be Coaching Matters. When this COVID situation hit, when there's no fans in the stands, when there's, we don't know if we're actually going to be playing this week. We actually don't know if we're going to be fully healthy this week. Coaching matters 100% in this 2020 NFL season. And here it is right here. Matt Stafford credits interim head coach Darrell Bevell against the Lions' comeback win over the Bears. Quote, this is Matthew Stafford about his head coach, quote, I think his energy is infectious and guys feed off of it. I mean, one game around, nobody said that about Matt Patricia ever. This quote never happened to Matt Patricia. One game in, Darrell Bevell, the Lions were down 10 points with like 3 minutes left and the Bears blow it. We're also going to be talking about that game. That is truly hilarious as well. But the Lions get their comeback win. They would have never won that game if Matt Patricia was a head coach. So, coaching matters, folks. The Lions didn't even have Kenny Galladay or DeAndre Swift, their top two offensive pieces, and they still came back 10 points with 3 minutes left. I think his energy is infectious, and guys are feeding off of it. This is huge. If you're a Lions fan, congratulations. You may just have found your next head coach. It is unfortunate that Matt Stafford is at the tail end of his career, and they're probably going to be rebuilding at quarterback. But, you've got to probably be positive about this future in Detroit now that Matt Patricia is gone. All right, and then once again, coaching matters. Let me set up this picture real quick about the third quarter Bengals-Dolphins game. Jakeem Grant's going for a fair catch on a punt, and a Bengals player just absolutely lays him out right before the ball even gets there. He called a fair catch and everything. Dirty play. Brian Flores, the Dolphins head coach, gets involved. He storms the field. The Dolphins player storms the field. The Bengals players storm the field. Total chaos. Multiple ejections. 3 players ejected. 2 Dolphins players. 1 Bengals player. Going to be a ton of fines in this, but just look at this. Brian Flores defending his players, having to get held back of talking to the Bengals players, and then we've got some quotes to go along with this picture. Flores said he's going to be sticking up for his players. This is quote of Brian Flores. These are like my kids. I've got to do a better job. My emotions got the best of me. I can't do anything to hurt the team. So, this man's a true leader. He loves his players. He'll do anything for them. He sticks up for his players. Hey, these are like my kids. He says it. He's not basically saying it. He says it. These are like my kids, folks. I will go to war for my kids. I will battle for my kids. And when you have that as a head coach, players rally around that truly. And then we get Tua's response to this. Tua on Brian Flores, this picture right here, this whole altercation, this is what Tua has to say about it. Quote, it speaks a lot of Brian Flores' character. Jakeem Grant, he got hit, and it wasn't the first time. It wasn't the first time. It was the second time it happened in the game. And then he goes on, he stands up for us as a team. It wasn't just him. It's a testament to how close we are as a team. And this goes back to last year with Brian Flores developing that winning culture in Miami. Coaching matters 100%. And we kind of saw that in some of the games. Some of the games that were supposed to be blowouts were actually a lot closer than what they actually were. And you can kind of pinpoint that on coaching. So if you've got a good coach, you're pretty much going to be solid throughout really this entire year and going forward. Coaching matters a bunch, folks. That's why we can't just give Tom Brady 100% of the credit for a 20-year dynasty when he's only a quarterback, one player on the field. So coaching matters. Defensive coaching. You call the wrong play, you lose. What else do we got here? Lions, brand new coach. Everybody's feeding off of his energy, and they go in down 10 points and win. Brian Flores gets the love and praise of his players. Coaching is big, folks. Coaching is big. Alrighty, so those are all the stories we just needed to cover real quick to get out of the way. Now let's start talking about all of the games from yesterday. There were a ton of good ones. Great day full of football. The 1s, the 4s, the 8 o'clock game. That was even entertaining, even though it was supposed to be a blowout. Fantastic. That's what we love to see. So without further ado, let's go in it game by game, break it down. What did we see? What are we talking about? Without further ado, here we go. We're going to start here at Saints and Falcons. And I don't know what it is about this Falcons offense, folks. When they are healthy, Julio Jones is playing, Calvin Ridley is playing, Todd Gurley is playing, their offense is worse. And if just Calvin Ridley's playing, it's real bizarre. I don't get it. So the Falcons lose again to the Saints again. Truly unfortunate. Saints win at 21-16. Let's start with Taysom Hill. How well did he look? 27 of 37 for 232 yards. Pretty good. 2 passing touchdowns. Finally, we get the passing touchdowns. We knew his arm was good. We saw it 2 weeks ago against the Falcons. He just didn't have any passing touchdowns. He had the rushing touchdowns, but his arm was still good, getting it, down the field to his playmaker. So looks like he did it again here. 27 completions for 232 yards, a little bit of dink and dunk, not as explosive as he was the first meeting with the Falcons where he had like 18 completions for like 200 and something yards. So a little bit less on the yards here. Alvin Kamara finally getting back. I mean, that was kind of the most impressive thing for me with the Saints these last 2 weeks. Taysom Hill was really doing everything, and Alvin Kamara, who is probably the number one weapon the Saints have. I mean, Drew Brees was using him as the number one weapon. Alvin Kamara wasn't really doing anything these last 2 weeks. And they were winning the games. That's a huge promising sign for the Saints team. So Alvin Kamara kind of back in action here. 15 carries for 88 yards and touchdown. And look at this. Taysom Hill, 14 carries for 83 yards, just getting it done. A true dual threat. Lamar Jackson, this is how you're supposed to play the dual threat. 232 yards passing, 2 touchdowns passing, and then 83 yards on the ground as well. This is what Lamar Jackson should be doing, and Taysom Hill is doing it perfect. I love this, man. Taysom Hill, the Saints, they have their quarterback. You don't even need Jameis Winston anymore. He was a little bit of an insurance policy, I think, if Taysom Hill didn't pan out, but this man's seeming to pan out. So whether Drew Brees retires this year or next year, this Saints team is in good hands with Taysom Hill. He can make the throws, and his dual threat with the legs is top notch, folks. It's truly top 3. Kyler Murray, or top 4, I would say. Top 5, I think I would have to say. Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Taysom Hill. I think we group all those guys together. This man's very, very good. Let's see who he was actually passing to. Look at this. Number 1 receiver, Michael Thomas. That's what I'm talking about. Rarely ever Drew Brees is passing the ball, and Michael Thomas and Traquan Smith and Emmanuel Sanders and Jared Cook are all the top leading receivers, while Alvin Kamara is not. Drew Brees doesn't spread the ball around like this, folks. This is something special. So Michael Thomas, leading receiver, 9 receptions for 105 yards. Love to see it. No touchdowns. Then we have a Traquan Smith, 3 receptions for 42 yards. Emmanuel Sanders, 5 receptions for 39 yards. Jared Cook, 3 receptions, 28 yards, and a touchdown. Love to see it. Going to his weapons. Love it, love it, love it. Letting, the running backs do their job on the ground. And I mean, I'm not saying that you can never pass to, running backs in the backfield like Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara. I'm just saying, you've got actual good wide receiver weapons. Use them a little bit more. That's my one knock on Brady. Let's start using our wide receiver weapons a little bit more. I know you love using your tight ends, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking it, but we see it doesn't translate to wins, and we see other teams going to their wide receivers, and Tom Brady's a GOAT quarterback. So please, let's go to our weapons here that are, known for catching the ball. So that's what Taysom Hill does, and I truly, truly love what the Saints team is doing. Oh my God, I love it. All right, let's go to the Falcons now. Matt Ryan. Once again, a little bit disappointing here. 19 of 39. He did throw for 273 yards. The man was slinging it, but the completion percentage was not good. It's barely 50%, I believe. It may be 51, but it's not good. It may even be 48%. Not good. 273 yards I can get behind. 1 touchdown, no picks. I can kind of get behind that. They didn't have the running game that the Saints had. I mean, look at this. Ito Smith, 8 carries for 36 yards. That's their leading receiver. Todd Gurley got bottled up. 8 carries for only 16 yards. They weren't letting him do anything either. Calvin Ridley was the leading receiver, 5 receptions for 108 yards. Julio Jones had 6 receptions for 94 yards, but both of those people had no touchdown catches. So it's just something with Matt Ryan. I can't buy 100% into him. He's a little iffy, doesn't work so well in the red zone. That's why they have to settle for all these field goals, folks. I mean, 1 field goal here. 2 field goals, 3 field goals, all in the first half. I mean, not good. They cannot do good in the red zone. And I mean, Hung-Wei Koo is, let's see how far these field goals are, because this man is usually drilling from 50 usually. So their first field goal was a 53-yarder. They stalled on the Saints' 35-yard line. Couldn't even get into the red zone that time. Their second field goal comes from the Saints 12-yard line. So once again, not performing well in the red zone. I mean, look at this, folks. 1st and 10 from the Saints 11, 1-yard run, or negative 1-yard run. 2nd and 11 from the Saints 12, passed incomplete. 3rd and 11 from the Saints 12, passed incomplete again. Then they have to settle for the field goal. So Matt Ryan can't get it done in the red zone either. It just doesn't work. They're lucky he kind of doesn't throw picks in the red zone, because we have seen that a lot. And then their last field goal right before the half, it looks like 28-yard field goal. Once again, stalling at the 10, stalling at the 14. I mean, look at this. I mean, folks, what do we got here? Pass incomplete. 1st and goal from the 10, pass incomplete. 2nd and goal from the 10, pass incomplete. I know that the time is running down, and they only had 2 shots at the end zone here, but still having to settle for field goals, it costs you games. Look at this. This is a 5-point game, and they had to settle for field goals twice, 3 times. Not good. So not good by the Falcons. And then they only had like one good drive here at the end in the 4th quarter, where they were able to finally cap off for a touchdown. But then it's just a little bit too late. It's 21-9 heading into this touchdown drive. You make it 21-16 with how much time left in the game. Got about half the quarter left, so they just could not string anything together consistently. They can't be trusted to score touchdowns when everybody is healthy. I don't understand it. Saints get the win here, 21-16. Alrighty, let's move on, and here we go, Lions and Bears, and Jesus, Mitch Trubisky, even when you have a decent game, you still blow it, so what the heck are we doing here? Let's start here with the Bears, Mitch Trubisky. Let's look at his stats. He went 26 of 34 for 267 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. That's all good. Why couldn't you have done this a little bit sooner? But, what happened in this game? Well, let's take you through these drives real quick. Bears have a 30-20 lead. With how much time left in this game, let's see. 11 and a half minutes left to go in the entire game. The Bears have a 10-point lead. Absolutely fantastic. Now they even have a 10-point lead going in with 5 minutes left in the game. 10-point lead, 5 minutes left, and you let a team come back. Absolutely atrocious. So they let let's just put it like this. The Bears, the drive before the Lions score the touchdown to get them back in the game, the Bears go 3 and out. Not good for -2 yards. So Mitch Trubisky's not doing anything. They also couldn't capitalize on a Matt Stafford interception. They go 3 and out after that. So once again, leaving the gate open, leaving the door open for the Lions to come back, which they did. So the Bears go 3 and out, and the Bears defense lets them down once again. Lets the Lions score a touchdown. They make it a 27-30 game, so only down by 3, but there's only 2 minutes and 24 seconds left. Run the ball out, eat up the clock, but what happens here? Third and 4, Mitch Trubisky is sacked and fumbles. You get sacked and you lose the ball. Are you kidding me, Mitch Trubisky? You're competing for a contract. Do you not understand that? You are not getting another deal. I'm sorry. At least not another starting deal. You're lucky if you get the Jameis Winston treatment, where you go to a good team as a backup, get passed over as the backup quarterback, fall to the 3rd string, but you're still getting paid and you're still learning from Drew Brees. So hopefully Mitch Trubisky can get that. I don't think he's going to. So Mitch Trubisky fumbles the ball. How atrocious. And then the Lions, they don't have to go far. They have the ball on the Chicago's 7-yard line. They go 2 plays, they get a touchdown. Now the Bears are down 34-30. And then, they've just got no time. They go 4th and 1 on Detroit's 20. Look at this. They were in Detroit's territory. Mitch Trubisky can't even get it done either. You make the mistake and you can't, fix it for your squad. Absolutely atrocious. I'll tell you right now, this is going to be a game that we are going to watch on Thursday during our film study. We're going to watch this last drive. We're going to watch the fumble. We're going to watch it all because Mitch Trubisky, he sucks. It's unfortunate. The man's garbage. He's got to go. He cannot be starting in this league anymore. What else do we got here? Chicago leading running back David Montgomery, 17 carries for 72 yards. Allen Robinson leading receiver for the Bears, 6 receptions, 75 yards. Still decent. Let's look at the Lions now. Matt Stafford, what did he do? 27 of 42 for 402 yards. Gosh darn. 3 receptions, 1 interception. I said, the interception came in the 4th quarter. Not good, but hey, he was able to make up for his mistake. Hey, I threw an interception. That's on me. Let me come back and throw 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to make up for it. While Mitch Trubisky is like, hang on, I'll fumble the ball, lose the lead, and then not score a touchdown when we have a chance at the ball on lines 20, needing a touchdown. I won't do that. So, real trash here. Real great coaching here by the Lions, which you didn't think you would get. Great job with the interim head coach. We mentioned the quote at the top of the show. Everybody buying in. Infectious. Love it, love it, love it. Adrian Peterson had a good game too. 16 carries for 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. This man's not washed up. The man's no scrub. He's a true tried veteran, and we love it. So we know that, even with DeAndre Swift being out, we know Adrian Peterson can carry the load. So, yeah, he had a good game here. Let's see who Matt Stafford was throwing to. Here we go. Marvin Jones, leading receiver for the Lions. 8 receptions, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. Love to see it. TJ Hawkinson, 7 receptions for 84 yards. And then it just keeps going. Danny Amendola, look at that. 3 receptions, 62 yards. I don't know how the hell to say this name. Quintez Cephas, 2 receptions, 63 yards. I mean, Matt Stafford had 400 yards, folks. He was slinging it down the field to multiple receivers. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receivers with all like 20-plus yards receiving. That's pretty good. So, Bears, they blow the lead. They're absolute trash. The Bears, they just need a quarterback, and we'll see what happens then. But until then, I don't think we blame Matt Nagy. Mitch Trubisky, he's got to go. He's trash. And well done by this Lions team. I mean, coaching is everything. Matt Patricia was absolutely atrocious. In the first game without him, they win on the road, coming back from 10 down with 3 minutes left. I think we've got ourselves a new head coach in Detroit, folks. I think we stick with him. That's pretty good. Alrighty, here we go. Let's continue on. Colts, Texans, and let's start with Deshaun Watson. Did his performance go down, losing 2 wide receivers? Let's see. Not really. 26 of 38 for 341 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown, and he threw an interception, but the yards are a little impressive. Not throwing a touchdown, though. Didn't have the jacked-up Will Fuller to catch those easy passes for you. So unfortunate for them. Once again, this Texans running game, it's decent. David Johnson, 10 carries for 44 yards, 1 touchdown. Deshaun Watson, he had 7 rushes for 38 yards too. So David Johnson, little decent here. Would have liked to see him, stick with the run game a little bit more. 10 carries, that's not a lot. All right, let's go. They're leading receivers now. Who is he throwing to? Well, these 2 receivers stepped in heavily for Kenny Stills, not being on the team anymore, and Will Fuller, being suspended for the rest of the season. So look at this. Kiki Cutie, 8 receptions for 141 yards. I mean, I haven't even heard of him until today. And then Chad Hansen, 5 receptions for 101 yards. Those are your leading receivers. Then we have Brandon Cooks, 3rd leading receiver, 5 receptions for 65 yards. So Deshaun Watson, he's like, it don't matter who my wide receivers are, I'm still going to sling it. So this is a little promising sign here by the Texans. I thought their offense would flounder a little bit, losing 2 of their 4 kind of wide receiver depth, but they are deeper than we thought. We got Kiki Cutie here and Chad Hansen. I mean, they're stepping in real well. So that's a little promising going forward. We are going to have to kind of keep that in mind when we talk about Houston going into week 14. So well done by the Texans here. The Colts just hang on a little bit. Wow. I mean, yeah, this scoring chart is not right, I don't think. Is this right? Yeah, it is right. Interesting. All right, so let's talk about the Colts now. Here we go. Phillip Rivers, 27 of 35 for 285 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, not turning the ball over. That's exactly what we like to see. Yeah, very well done by Phillip Rivers, playing a little bit better than what I kind of have him pegged at, so well done. We thought the Colts would win this game, and they did, so fantastic there. Jonathan Taylor, what a running game by him. 13 carries for 91 yards. That's 7 yards a carry, folks. That's wild. That's truly wild. So the running game is definitely helping out the passing game. The passing game is definitely helping out the running game. Here we go. T.Y. Hilton, leading receiver. No surprise here. 8 receptions for 110 yards and a touchdown. Michael Pittman Jr., second leading receiver, 5 receptions, 46 yards. And, I mean, this Colts team, They were very good in the first half. They usually score a lot of points in the first half, keep up, pace in the first half. It's the second half where they really usually fall off, and that's exactly what happened here. I mean, there was only 2 points scored in the second half of this game between both teams, folks. So very tight defense at the second half of this game. Both teams ratcheting it up. No team really making a huge mistake, and, that's the game. The Texans, they do give up a safety, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, they were down 4 anyway, so the safety in the grand scheme of things doesn't really change too much. It's just Deshaun Watson could not score touchdowns. They moved the ball down the field decently. He did throw the interception in the third quarter. Let's see where this drive was going. They were driving a little bit, 3rd and 6 on Indianapolis's 42-yard line, and then he throws a pick. So a little bit of a drive there. It stalls. Then they get the safety, another punt. Then they fumble, too. Oh, my goodness. Who fumbled here at the end of the game to possibly win? Look at this. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Deshaun Watson. Look at this, folks. 1 minute and 28 seconds left. They're on the Colts 2-yard line, down 6, and Deshaun Watson fumbles the ball. Wow. So Deshaun Watson did not have himself a good game. The pick, the fumble, absolutely not good here by Deshaun Watson. Couldn't score any touchdowns. He was still slinging the ball 341 yards. That's very good, but still, in the grand scheme of things, him being clutch, not good. He did fumble twice. He lost one of them, and that last one was the one that they really needed. They go score that touchdown, hit the extra point. They got a 1-point lead with only a minute, basically a minute left in the game. Do you trust the Colts to go down? I don't know. So not good there by Deshaun Watson, man. Damn, fumbling the ball. This Colts team struggled in the second half a little bit. That's something that we are going to have to kind of keep in mind as well. I'm not big on this Colts. I was big on the Colts for this game and pretty much this game only. We're once again probably going to be bailing on this Colts team. They're just not 100% good. A little bit of a bailout here. Probably shouldn't have won this game, but they did. Deshaun Watson fumbles the big-time play. You hate to see it. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go. Bengals and Dolphins is the next game up. Let's start with Tua, and this man got out to a little bit of a slow start. I mean, we can see here the Dolphins only put up 6 points in the first half. We were down going into halftime 7-6, not good. And then Tua had a fantastic third quarter. So here we go. Tua, 26 of 39 for 296 yards. Very well done. 1 touchdown, no picks, not turning the ball over still. That's something that we love. I think his career total so far is 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. Fantastic. Not turning the ball over. That correlates with wins, folks. All right, then we got Myles Gaskin. He was back for this game, 21 carries for 90 yards, and he also did fumble. Did he fumble? Yeah, he was the one that fumbled. Not good. We were trying to put away the game, and then he fumbles. The fumble comes, in the fourth quarter here. Late in the game, 4 minutes left, and he fumbles. And he fumbled while picking up 40 yards on the ground, so not great there. Really just trying to close out the game. We're up 19-7. They fumble with 4 minutes left. They try to come back. They can't. We shut them down. So well done. We do pick them off in the red zone, it appeared. So Tua, very well done. Who was he going to? The running game was good. The passing game was good. Mike Gesicki, the leading receiver. Now, he is a tight end. 9 receptions for 88 yards and a touchdown. Then we got Myles Gaskin. He's a running back, 2 receptions for 51 yards. Then finally, we have a wide receiver here in the top 3 receivers. Jakeem Grant, 2 receptions for 42 yards. Probably could have had, another 50 yards, but he dropped kind of a wide open pass by Tua. Let's watch. Can we watch? Can I remember when this pass came? That's really the question. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to find it quickly. Unfortunate. We might look at it Wednesday then. But Tua, looked pretty good. A lot of yards, not turning the ball over, still very good. Bengals, I mean, they couldn't do anything offensively. Yes, they scored a touchdown. Congrats. You drove a little bit. Congrats. A little bit of a wide open play because of the Dolphins. Not good. Let's just watch this. This goes for the touchdown. Just bad defense here. We got man here up at the top. he goes under instead of over. That gives him the top of the field to kind of break off, and that's what he does, and that goes all the way for the touchdown. So just a little bit of a defense miscommunication, bad defensive play, and that's the only points that the Bengals gave, or that the Dolphins gave up, and the Bengals got. So the Dolphins defense once again doing very good this game. All right, let's talk about Brandon Allen, the quarterback for the Bengals. 11 of 19, 153 yards, the touchdown that we just saw, and the interception that we didn't see, but still not a good interception. Giovanni Bernard, their running back, 12 carries for 30 yards. The running game was not doing anything. The Dolphins were stopping that. I mean, look at this, folks. They barely gave up like 200 yards total. Fantastic. And then the Dolphins, they did end up injuring Brandon Allen, and they had to bring in Ryan Finley to close out the game. He's the one that threw the interception too. Brandon Allen and Ryan Finley both have an interception. What else do we got here? Leading receiver for the Bengals, we got Tyler Boyd, 1 reception for 72 yards. That was a touchdown that we just showed. That went the distance. And then T. Higgins, 5 receptions for 56 yards. So the Bengals, they weren't just doing anything. They could not do anything against this Dolphins defense really all game. To a little bit of a slow start, finally clicking in the third quarter, and then just kind of coasting in the fourth quarter. So we'll see what happens next week. We have the Chiefs. I mean, it's going to be Dolphins-Chiefs next week. It's going to be a tough game. Well, Tua's probably going to be starting, folks, and we have to get out to a better start. He understands that. There was a quote after the game where he's like, I understand I did good in the third quarter, but I need to do better. I need to get this team out to a faster start, and they definitely do that. We cannot be going into halftime down 1 point against the Bengals like we couldn't be down against the Broncos, which we were. So cannot let these easier teams stick around, because that's what the lower teams want. They just want to be in games in the fourth quarter, then make that one play that either wins the game for them or lose the game, but they want to be there in the fourth quarter, one possession game where they have a chance to go and win. So you got to bury the bad teams early on. The Dolphins haven't been doing that here. All right, let's move on from this game. Not a lot to talk about. We'll watch Tua on Wednesday, but nothing really to talk about here. Alrighty, here we go. Jacksonville and Vikings, and this was our first ever investigative pick. We did it on our Friday show when we made our official picks. We did a side investigative pick where we were like, are we going to trust Mike Glennon with 10 points? We did. We kind of liked what we saw. Still a little bit of hesitations, but we still liked overall Jacksonville plus 10. They lose by 3, but our plus 10 wins us the pick. So very well done by us, and we'll probably do it again on Friday. We'll do another investigative pick since it worked so well. So here we go. Let's get into this here. We'll start with Mike Glennon. How did he look? 28 of 42 for 280 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. No picks. Stop turning the ball over, Mike Glennon. He didn't do it last week, which was fantastic, but he did it here twice. So let's see where these came from. First interception coming in the second quarter. Not good. They were driving too. Look at this. They were at 1st and 15 on Minnesota's 26-yard line. That's a drive. That's guaranteed points that they threw away, and then Minnesota goes down and answers with a touchdown of their own, folks. The Jags were up 9-0 at that interception point and looking to be up either 12-0 or 16-0. Instead, it's 9-6 because of that whole flop. Not good. Mike Glennon, come on, clean it up a little bit. And then his second interception came in the fourth quarter. Not good. Look at this. 3rd and 8 on Jacksonville's 20. They were tied at this point when he throws the interception. So not good throwing these interceptions. And it came in overtime, not the fourth quarter. So even worse, you have a chance. And man, oh man. So Mike Glennon, little bit of a step back here from last week to this week, turning the ball over a lot. Not good. We'll have to watch him on Wednesday again to see if the throws are still high or if he's reining in the accuracy a little bit, giving us more information for next week, whether we like the Jags or not. So far, these interceptions, I'm not liking the Jags or Mike Glennon. James Robinson, still a very good rushing attack here. 18 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. That's something that we saw in our investigative pick on last week. We saw that the Jags were actually running the ball decently. They put up like 60 rushing yards in the first quarter last week. So rushing attack is still strong here this week. 78 yards, very good. Here we go. Mike Glennon was throwing to Colin Johnson, the leading receiver for the Jags, 4 receptions, 66 yards. Tyler Eifert, second leading receiver, 6 receptions, 45 yards. Then we have, look at all these players, 41 yards for James O'Shaughnessy, 41 yards for DJ Chark. Look at that. That's probably their main wide receiver, their main weapon. And, they've got other wide receivers doing better than him. So you like Mike Glennon airing it out downfield, spreading the ball around. That's huge, so the defense just doesn't clamp on one receiver, kind of like Arizona with DeAndre Hopkins. We'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, great job by Mike Glennon. Oh, and he fumbled too. Wow, we had a lot of fumbles here. So not only did he throw 2 interceptions, but he also fumbled too. Let's see where his fumble came. Is it this one? Mike Glennon fumbles. Yeah, look at this. Oh, my goodness. He fumbles right at the end of the third quarter. And once again, are they driving? Not really. 3rd and 5 on their own 30-yard line. And they're lucky that the fumble didn't cost them anything, because I think this is Kirk Cousins' fumble. Kirk Cousins fumbles on the 1-yard line of Jacksonville, and that really keeps them in, and that's the hesitations we have on Minnesota. We saw it last week, and we saw it yesterday as well. Last week or 2 weeks ago, week 12, however you want to call it. In the second half of the game against the Panthers, Kirk Cousins fumbles for the touchdown, Dalvin Cook fumbles for a touchdown, and we still have, that's why we were hesitant on liking the Vikings as well, because we know that they make mistakes. They turn the ball over on the crucial situations on the 1-yard line, and you fumble the ball. I mean, that's just atrocious, folks. So they give up the fumble. Not good. Yeah, cannot trust this Vikings team, truly. Cannot trust them. They've been good after the bye. The yards have been there, both by Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. I mean, look at this, folks. Look at Kirk Cousins, 28 of 43 for 305 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick. I mean, the pick has been a little uncharacteristic of Kirk Cousins. Now, the fumbles, that's kind of what we've been seeing these last 5 weeks, but he really hasn't been throwing these interceptions. So let's see where his interception came. Start of the third quarter, and it's a pick 6. He threw a pick 6. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. And he fumbles on the 1-yard line. Trash. Truly trash. So, Vikings helping out the Jags. Jags helping out the Vikings with these turnovers. Wild. Dalvin Cook had a great game as well. 32 carries. He had 32 carries, folks. 32 carries for 120 yards. I mean, they do not abandon the running game here in Minnesota, and they still had enough plays for Kirk Cousins to throw the ball 43 times. Wild. Here we go. Justin Jefferson having a great rookie year. Leading receiver for the Vikings in this game. 9 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Adam Thielen, second leading wide receiver. 8 receptions, 75 yards, and a touchdown as well. So great receivers. That's what Kirk Cousins needs. He needs 2 great receivers, and he's got them here with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Now that Stephon Diggs is gone, Justin Jefferson steps up as a rookie, and he's having a hell of a year, folks, truly. So this game goes into overtime because of a couple of missed field goals. Both teams had a chance to take the lead late in the game. Vikings here, they miss a 51-yard field goal, absolutely atrocious, and the Jaguars miss a 62-yarder. So that one we can kind of give you a break on. I mean, the record I think is 62. I think 63 breaks it, or 64. It's either 62 to 63. That's the record for longest field goal made, so we can maybe excuse Jacksonville missing their field goal attempt to win at the end of the game. And then, they both get a chance here in overtime. As I said, Mike Glennon throws the interception here on 3rd and 8 on their own 20-yard line. And then the Vikings, they just make sure they score. They just make sure they score. They were trying to run the ball in. They kept going because they were on Jacksonville's 5-yard line at one point. 1st and goal at the 5, running. Second and goal from the 2, run it again. 3rd and goal from the 1, try to run it again. And then they finally settle for the field goal that is 23 yards. So very well done to Dan Bailey for making a 23-yard field goal. Congratulations. Even though you've missed some kicks in this game. Let's see where he was. 2 of 3 on field goals. We just said he missed the 51-yarder who win it in regulation. So that was Jaguars Vikings. Mike Glennon looking still decent, throwing the ball down the field a lot. Love to see it. And then the Vikings, they pull out a win, but they're still making critical mistakes. They're not buttoned up. This is not a buttoned up Minnesota team. They do make multiple mistakes. They usually overcome them. That's why they're kind of on like a 5-6 game winning streak, because, you know, they do make the mistakes, but they're able to kind of clean it up with Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. So not still buying the Vikings, and Jaguars, maybe buy them a little bit, not too much. Alrighty, here we go. Raiders and Jets, and how funny is this game, folks? How funny is this game? Jets are absolutely trash. The Jets were this close. Adam Gase was this close of getting off the trash list, folks. This close, and then the defensive coordinator blows it with the Hail Mary from the 50-yard line. They blitz them, and the rest is history. So let's start here with the Jets. Sam Darnold, 14 of 23 for 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception. Let's see where this came from. Second quarter, it looks like. Second quarter, and they were down 13-10. They were up 13-10 at this point. So, not good. Driving a little bit. 2nd and 3 from the Raiders' 38-yard line. So, very close into field goal position, field goal territory, and they blow it. They also did fumble the ball. Who fumbled here? Sam Darnold fumbled twice. Are you kidding me? Let's look at these fumbles. The first fumble coming in the second quarter, where they are down. No, they are up at this point still, 13-7. Still turning the ball over early on their drive, and the Raiders cash in 3 points off of it. Look at this. Oh, my God. Back-to-back drives, all ending in turnovers for the Jets. Fumble by Sam Darnold. Next drive, interception by Sam Darnold. Next drive, fumble by Sam Darnold. And in the meantime of giving up all these turnovers, the Raiders scored 10 points on three turnovers. That's decent. I'll give them that. So, oh my God, Sam Darnold, awful. Cleaned it up a little bit in the second half, so I'll give him that. Didn't turn the ball over. I guess that's a silver lining. Being good in the second half, I guess. The running game for the Jets was very well done. Look at this. Ty Johnson, 22 carries for 104 yards, 1 touchdown rushing. Very well done. Receiving game wasn't too great. I mean, Sam Darnold only had 150 yards or 180 yards passing, so nothing too big down the field here. Jamison Crowder, leading receiver, for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not good, though. Sam Darnold turning it over 3 times. Holy cow. No accountability there in New York, folks. That's why coaching matters. When you coach good, your team usually doesn't fumble the ball or turn the ball over on 3 straight drives. Now let's look at the Raiders here. Derek Carr, 28 of 47, 381 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception himself. His interception came on their first drive when they were already down 7-0. And they were driving. They were on the Jets' 22-yard line, and he throws a pick. Not good. But he was able to kind of clean it up very well. I mean, after their interception drive, they go down and score a touchdown themselves to tie it up. So well done. And then their defense really starts to take over the game. They get the turnovers, and that's where they put up another 10 points. And they go into halftime up 17-13. The Raiders do. So well done there. The Raiders' running game wasn't as good as the Jets. We've got Devontae Booker, leading rusher for the Raiders, 16 carries for only 50 yards. No touchdowns, though, so unfortunate. But Darren Waller, I mean, folks, this man is truly wild. He's like 6'7", tight end that runs like a 4.5, 4.4 40. Wild. So Darren Waller, leading receiver, 13 receptions for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Basically what Tyreek Hill did last week with the 3 touchdowns and 260 yards receiving. Absolutely wild. And then we get to Henry Ruggs here, 3 receptions, 84 yards, and the touchdown, the actual game-winning Hail Mary touchdown. That was to Henry Ruggs. So well done. The Raiders stay in the game, and all you need is a chance. You've got a strong arm quarterback in Derek Carr. You've got fast, wide receivers to get down the field quickly, and they take advantage of the blitz. So that was Jets-Raiders. I mean, Jets losing in classic Jets fashion, where they think they have the game. I mean, they went down and scored a touchdown here to go up 28-24 with 5 minutes left. And then the Raiders go down, and they try to win the game. But the Jets defense holds. I mean, look at this. The Raiders get all the way down to the Jets' 9-yard line. They go for it on 4th and 3. Doesn't come up with it. Now there's a minute and 42 seconds left. All the Jets need to do is, get one first down, but they can't pick it up. Do they go ultra conservative? Let's see, 3-yard run. 1-yard run, 1-yard run. So, I mean, you kind of do the smart thing. You run the ball to have the Raiders use their timeouts, and that's exactly what they do. They just couldn't get the first down, so they leave 42 seconds left for the Raiders, and the rest is history. We saw it. We talked about it. Not good. We get, that gets a coach fired. The team doesn't believe in you. Adam Gase, now what do? I don't know. Now, did the Jets throw this game on purpose? Was, the defensive coordinator for the Jets the fall guy? Does Adam Gase really want Trevor Lawrence this bad where he would rather go 0-16? If he wants to have that blemish on his coaching record, go for it. But, that's not my style. I mean, to purposely lose, that's lame as heck, folks. Yes, I understand you want a good draft pick, but that's not even guaranteed. You're losing a season for something that's not even guaranteed. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, his first game, he can go down like what Joe Burrow happened this season. Tears ACL, out for a year. Never the same. Takes a step back. I mean, so when you tank, it's so lame, and it's not guaranteed, and draft picks rarely pan out the way you want them to. So if that was what the Jets did this week, and they were just using the defensive coordinator as a fall guy, I have less respect for the Jets and Adam Gase and everybody in this Jets organization than I already did. So if this turns out that this was planned, that they wanted just to kind of give up the game, oh man, that's oof. That's trash. That's truly trash. From competition standpoint, folks, if you ever do that, you are the lamest person. Lamest. Win now. Try to win now. Don't try to win in the future. That's lame. It's not guaranteed. That's why it's so lame. Try to win now. You've got players. You're telling me you can only win if you have the top of the top players? That makes you a garbage coach or player, whatever instance you want to use it in. Alrighty, let's go to Browns and Tennessee Titans, and probably the biggest surprise of the week. I thought the Titans were going to expose the Browns, but it was the Browns who exposed the Titans. Folks, this is the second time where this Titans team did not do good in the first half against the better teams. The first time coming against the Steelers, where the Titans got absolutely kind of blown out in the first half and it kind of had to come back and do everything in the second half. That's what they had to do this week. So Tennessee, they only put up 7 points in the first half. They give up 38. They were down 38-7 at halftime, folks. That's game over. That's game over. The Titans try to make it a game, and it does look a little closer than what the actual game was. But this is the second time we've seen the Tennessee Titans get out to a very, very slow start offensively and a bad start defensively, giving up a ton of points. They did it against the Steelers. They did it against the Browns. That's something that we have to keep in mind. So let's praise. We have to start praising this Browns team. Well done by Kevin Stefanski. Baker Mayfield played one hell of a game. Look at this, folks. Flawless in the first half. First drive, 8 plays, 71 yards, field goal. Second drive, 9 plays, 52 yards, touchdown. Third drive, 6 play, 20-yard, touchdown. Fourth drive, 1 play, 75 yards, touchdown. Fifth drive, 11 plays, 75 yards, touchdown. Sixth drive, 9 plays, 51 yards, touchdown. Folks, flawless in the first half. Every time they touched the ball, they scored at least 3, most likely 7. They only settled for 3 once, and that was on their first drive. That's fantastic. Great play calling, great execution offensively. Everything was rolling. And now we really can't take too much of anything going on in the second half because the game's already over. The Browns are not trying to score. They're just trying to kind of get out of here healthy. Let's eat up the clock. Let's just get out of here healthy. We've already won this game, basically. We're up 38-7. Yeah, 38-7 at halftime. Yes, the Browns don't put up 3 points, but they're not looking to score. They just put up 38. Look at all these teams that didn't even put up 38 points in an entire game this week. Let's go through this real quick. Here we go. Falcons Saints 21-16, Lions Bears 34-30, Colts Texans 26-20, Dolphins Bengals 19-7, Jaguars Vikings 24-27, Raiders Jets 31-28, Browns Titans, that's the 41-28, Rams Cardinals 38-28. So the Rams, finally, we found a team who put up 38 points, but that was in an entire game, not just one half. 17-12 Giants Seahawks, 16-30 Eagles Packers, Patriots Chargers Chargers, Patriots put up 45 points. That was impressive. I'll give them that. And then Chiefs, Broncos, 16-22. So only 2 other teams put up 38 or more points in the entire game, and the Browns did it in the first half. So absolutely fantastic there. Great offense and great offensive execution. And we got to give the praise to Baker Mayfield. Here we go. 25 of 33. He had 8 incompletions, 334 yards. The man was slinging it. 4 touchdowns. The man was slinging it. No interceptions. The man was a clean game. This is a clean game by Baker Mayfield, and you love to see it. And look at this, the running game. Nick Chubb was still doing what he does. 18 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. And Kareem Hunt, 14 carries for 33 yards. So everything was working right for this Baker Mayfield-led offense. Very well done. Here we go. Rashad Higgins, leading receiver for the Browns. Who would have ever thought that? 6 receptions for 95 yards. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 2 receptions for 92 yards. He had that was the one play 75-yard play or drive that we talked about a little earlier. He was the one that caught that. Jarvis Landry, 8 receptions for 62 yards. Nick Chubb, he had a receptions for 26 yards. But, very, very impressed by Baker Mayfield. And now we have to start talking about this Cleveland Browns team a little bit more seriously. They've been absolutely fantastic these last couple weeks, winning games in different ways. The 2 monsoon games, so they had to run the ball. This game, they passed the ball a lot, and it works to perfection. So I take back everything bad I said about Baker Mayfield. I thought he was going to struggle in this game. I thought the Tennessee Titans defense would step up, but he just proved me wrong. So huge props to this Browns team, Baker Mayfield. I mean, we have to start respecting them, folks. I'm not going to say this is a fluke win, and we're still bashing the Browns. That's lame, folks. What more? When somebody, you don't think somebody can do something, and then they go out and prove it, and then you're still like, oh, well, you can't do it again. It's like, you get into this endless cycle of you just can't do it again. You can't do it again. Oh, yeah, this was a big game, but, here's another big game. Can you do it again? Folks, can we relax and, take things one week at a time? This man played a fantastic game, and I give him all the credit. They will, do we put them in the top 10 going into this week? Let's see. We had them at 9. We finally put them into the top 10 going into this week, and I've got no problems moving them up a little bit. Maybe a lot bit. We'll see. But very well done by the Browns. Super impressed on what they did. Now, the one knock I'm going to give Baker Mayfield is a little bit here. The Titans are starting to come back a little bit. They make it a 28-41 game. And what does Baker Mayfield do? He tries to do a little bit too much. He goes up the middle. He runs up the middle, QB keeper, just to try to pick up the first down on 4th and 1. And he fumbles the ball, giving a little bit of extra life for this Titans team. I mean, we see they take this fumble, go down and score a touchdown. Now it's only a 6-point game with 33 seconds left, but they have a chance at the onside. So Baker Mayfield got to clean it up a little bit still, even trying to close out the game, trying to get the first down to close it out. He still fumbles. So that is a little bit of a red flag that we still have to keep in mind. And that was kind of our hesitation on Baker Mayfield. He's gonna make the mistakes, and he kind of did make a mistake here. Luckily, he did so great in the first half that it doesn't come back to bite him. So lucky enough for Baker Mayfield, but that is still something that we have to keep an eye on. He still did fumble there. Not great. Let's go to the Titans now, because they got out to a very, very slow offensive start. Ryan Tannehill, 29 of 45, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. Let's see where this pick came from. Does come in the second half, and they were starting to come back at this point. I believe this is tipped and picked, so not 100% on Ryan Tannehill's shoulders, if I'm remembering correctly. I think it was tipped up in the air, just kind of fell in the hands of a Browns player. So it is unfortunate that was picked when they were trying to come back. Derrick Henry, 15 carries for only 60 yards. Really can't keep up with the run game when you're down 38-7.5. I mean, you have to score quickly, score fast, and that's what the Titans were starting to do in the third quarter. I mean, they started to come back, and I thought this was going to play out kind of this game played exactly like what happened with the Titans and Steelers a couple weeks ago. Titans got absolutely blown out in the first half. Then they start to come back in the second half, but just end up coming up a little short in the end, and it happened here in this Browns game as well. So in the third quarter, in the second half of this game. Titans go down 3 plays, 75 yards touchdown on their first drive. Second drive after halftime, 6 plays, 61 yards and a touchdown. I mean, their third drive, that's where the interception comes. They go out, they score a touchdown here. They're continuing to roll. But after that interception, they give up no points, but then they go 3 and out on their next offensive possession. So they waste a possession. They wasted 2 possessions where they could have gotten points. I mean, you give the Tennessee Titans 3 points on those 2 wasted possessions, and we're looking at a 41-41 game, folks. So, I mean, possessions are crucial. That's how you score. You have to have a possession. If you don't have a possession, you cannot score. Titans 2 wasted possessions, but that's what they get for not being good in the first half. You cannot just play good in one half of football, because this is what you get, folks. A close loss that really is not even that close, because you got blown out from the rip. So not penalizing this Browns defense for giving up 28 points in the second half. When you have that big of a lead, you really don't know what to do. You don't want to play too aggressive where you give up the lead quick. You don't want to play too passive where you give up the lead quick. You don't want to play too aggressive where you're turning the ball over, giving momentum to the other team. So it's a real fine line of how to play with a huge lead, and the Browns and Kevin Stefanski did it to perfection. Great game plan, great execution of it, and when they actually were up by 28 points, 31 points, whatever it was, they stayed cool, calm, collected, did not let it get away from him. So well done by the Browns. Huge win for them. Alrighty, Rams and Cardinals, and folks, we have to start talking about this Cardinals team. What is going on with them? They need another piece besides DeAndre Hopkins. They need something else. So here we go. Kyler Murray, 21 of 39 for 173 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Let's see where this interception came from. It's going to come in the fourth quarter, and it's a pick 6. Oh, man, they were down 10. That pick 6 makes them down 17. Unfortunate there by the Cardinals. Damn. So not good by Kyler Murray. Not a great game. Only 173 yards passing. He had 15 yards rushing. Well done by this Rams defense, not letting Kyler Murray get outside the pocket where he's good and he can torch you. So very well done by the Rams defense. Held them to only 173 yards passing and 15 yards rushing. Fantastic. Kenyon Drake, leading rusher for the Cardinals, 10 carries, 49 yards and a touchdown, doing all he can. But I mean, they did not run the ball too many times. 16 carries between Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds. Not the greatest. Alrighty, let's look at these receivers, and we tell a lot by this Cardinals team and who they throw to and how consistently they throw to them. So here we go. Dan Arnold, leading wide receiver, but he only had 2 receptions for 63 yards, and he did have 2 touchdowns, so I will give him that. 3 targets, though. Now we go to DeAndre Hopkins, their second leading wide receiver. He had 8 receptions for only 52 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins had 13 targets. The second leading targeted wide receiver was Chase Edmonds, a running back, with 6. The third leading targeted wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals after DeAndre Hopkins and Chase Edmonds was Andy Isabella. So, I mean, they forced the ball to DeAndre Hopkins a lot. Now, they were able to score with Dan Arnold twice. That's good. That's good. That's a good sign. But you still have to get another person consistently involved, not just going to DeAndre Hopkins 13 times in a game. I mean, they have to. This is the one knock on the Cardinals. They're kind of a one-trick pony. We're going to DeAndre Hopkins to score the ball, and when that doesn't work, we're going to lose the game. Unfortunate, but that's exactly what happened to the Cardinals here. Now let's talk about the Rams, because folks, I mean, I've said it. They have a low scoring offensive ceiling, but they put up 38 points. So very well done to the Rams scoring, and they kind of, the defense really helped them out a little bit with the scoring. So here we go. Jared Goff, 37 of 47, 351 yards. All of that is good, but then we look at the touchdown and interceptions. Only 1 touchdown. This is what I mean about this Rams team and struggling to score. Jared Goff throws the ball, slings it around, but he only has 1 passing touchdown. Now let's look at these rushers. Cam Akers, 21 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown, so running the ball for a touchdown. Darrell Henderson had 3 carries for 49 yards and a touchdown as well. And Jared Goff gets into the mix as well. 4 carries, 1 yard, 1 touchdown. Nice job there. Alrighty, so Rams able to put up 38 big points. Defense really helping out on these points as well. They get the pick six, that's 7. They get a nice fumble that I believe puts them into great field pool. Oh no, they miss it. They missed the when they fumbled, so not good there. All right. All right, yeah. So very well done by this Rams offense, putting up 38 points, looking good. Jared Goff was good. The running game was good. The defense was good, and not letting Kyler Murray, just absolutely obliterate them with his legs, with only his legs. So very well done by this Rams team. Gonna be close. I don't know. Cardinals, I think we have to sell them a little bit. I mean that's why they're out of the top 10 now. We sold them last week. We took them out of the top 10 just because they need different ways to start scoring the ball, and until then we can't buy them. Rams, they're running the ball more. They're passing the ball still good. The defense is still locking, opponents down. So well done, Rams. Yeah, Cardinals, Rams. I mean, Kyler Murray, not a good game here. Only 173 yards passing. He got locked down because he was just trying to go to DeAndre Hopkins. And when DeAndre Hopkins is on Jalen Ramsey, they're taking him away. They're taking your number one option away. Kyler Murray struggles to find other people to go to. Cardinals struggle to kind of draw up plays for other players. This is kind of a one-trick pony, folks. It's nice to have a superstar, but when you rely on that superstar again and again, it's like going to the well. That well reference, when you go to the well one too many times, that bucket's coming up with no water. Is that the saying? I don't know. All right, let's continue on. Giants and Seahawks, and oh my goodness, can we give everybody on this New York Giants team a medal, an award? I mean, to go into Seattle and win, absolutely fantastic. Without Daniel Jones starting a backup quarterback in Colt McCoy, absolutely fantastic what the Giants did. Very well done by their head coach. Very good, very well done by their defensive coordinator, whoever that is, and very well done to their offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett. So here we go. We'll start here with the Giants. Colt McCoy, 13 of 22, so not good there, not great. 105 yards, dink and dunk, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So no, Colt McCoy is not better than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, there is no quarterback controversy. We cannot wait to have you back. So let's see where this interception came from. First quarter, it looks like they were driving too. Look at this drive. I mean, 3rd and 8 on Seattle's 17. Then you throw the interception. Not good. But then luckily for the Giants, their defense holds the Seahawks to no points on that turnover. So very well done. And then let's talk about the rushing attack, because that's really the main focus that we need to be talking about. Wayne Gallman, leading rusher, 16 carries for 135 yards. That's 8 yards a carry. That's the highest we've seen so far. Second highest was 7 yards a carry. Wayne Gallman goes for 8.5. Very well done. And then we got to see Alfred Morris, 8 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown. Very well done. Love to see this man still playing. Great. He's been very solid his entire career. So love to see him get some action. All right, who was Colt McCoy throwing to? Well, Evan Ingram. He was their leading receiver, and I mean, that makes total sense. A tight end. When you have a backup quarterback playing, look for the tight end and running back to be kind of the main focuses of them, because those are their quick throws and their safety blanket throws. Nothing else open. Dump it off to your tight end, because he's just sitting there 3 yards deep over the middle, waiting for you to see him, waiting for you to see that nothing else is open. Give me the ball now. Or you throw to your wide receiver. You just take the snap, quick screen, throw it out to them. That's why we get this. But Taysom Hill doesn't do that, and that's why we like Taysom Hill a lot. All right, Evan Ingram, 4 receptions, 32 yards. That was their leading receiver, so they were not throwing the ball around, as we can tell by the 105 yards passing by Colt McCoy. So this was just lockdown defense and, the running game helping out. So very well done by the Giants. Now what happened to Seattle, because they struggled. I mean, Russell Wilson couldn't put up more than 12 points on this Giants defense. Okay. Russell Wilson, 27 of 43, 263 yards, 1 touchdown, and an interception. No, when Russell Wilson turns the ball over, they lose all those games. I'm pretty sure that's a stat. You can go and look that up. If you look at games that Russell Wilson has 1 turnover, they probably don't lose that game too many times, but 2 or more, they 100% lose those games. I can guarantee it. I would say when he throws an interception, he's probably got a 60-40 chance of losing. 60% losing, 40% winning. Chris Carson, 13 carries for 65 yards. He did all right, decent. They didn't stick with the run game too much. 13 carries is decent. DK Metcalf, leading wide receiver, but he had no touchdowns, 5 receptions for 80 yards. Tyler Lockett, 6 receptions, 63 yards, no touchdowns. So, Russell Wilson going to his main receivers. And then we got Chris Carson, the third leading wide receiver, 3 carries, 45 yards, and he was the one with the touchdown pass. So, yeah, I don't know what it was. I mean, this Seahawks offense, they could not do anything all game. Now, do we give credit to the Seahawks just offense, or do we give credit to the Giants defense being very good? I don't know. Let's see what the Giants were doing. Did they get pressure on Russell Wilson? Let's see what their defense was looking like. 1 sack, 2 sack, half a sack, 2.5 sacks. That's 3. So that's 3, 4, 5. 5 sacks on Russell Wilson. Very well done, getting pressure. And then let's look at tackle for losses. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tackles for losses. So just getting in the backfield. Well done by the Giants. Now let's look at what the Seahawks did on their defense as well. All right, sacks. We got 1, 2 sacks. This Seahawks defense only had 2 sacks. So, yes, the Giants defense was a lot better than the Seahawks defense. Then they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tackle for losses. Sacks are a lot better. But well done by the Giants defense. Really, I mean, we have to give Giants defense a little bit of credit here. Holding Seattle low, only 12 points at home. That's very good. That's real good. So give credit to the Giants. Give credit to the Giants defense. Not too much on their offense. Maybe on their offensive coordinator, give them credit. But Colt McCoy doesn't deserve any credit. And I cannot wait for Daniel Jones. I'm telling you, this Giants team is the best team in the NFC East. They go out and prove it here with a huge win over Seattle. This is pretty much going to solidify Giants' place in the playoffs, folks. This win right here, they're going to win the NFC East, folks. Hands down. Everybody's buying in. This first-year head coach, once again, coaching matters. New head coach for the Giants here. He was the Patriots special teams coordinator for a couple of years. Now he's got a first head coaching job. His star running back goes down, and he still keeps on keeping on, and they go and beat the Seattle Seahawks on the road. Fantastic job by the Giants. Buy the Giants a lot more, and we're going to have to start selling the Seahawks because this is the 4th time where, Russell Wilson, he's turned the ball over. The offense just doesn't get started. So what the heck is going on with Seattle, folks? I don't know. Alrighty, a couple more games to get into. Here we go. Eagles, Packers, and folks, the time had come in this game where Carson Wentz finally gets benched. Jalen Hurts comes in to take his place, and he looked pretty good. We'll definitely look to Jalen Hurts in our Wednesday film study as well. So tune in on Wednesday for that one. But we'll start here with Jalen Hurts. Only 5 completions though, so that's not good. 5 of 12, horrible completion percentage. 109 yards though, I can get behind that. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I cannot get behind that. So let's see when his interception came. Did he start first quarter? No, he did not. Let's tell you when he finally got in the game. I'll tell you when he finally got in the game. Here it is. So he finally gets into the game 7 minutes, so halfway through the third quarter. Carson Wentz came out and started the third quarter, but he still wasn't looking good. They have to pull him, and then Jalen Hurts come in. So let's look at Carson Wentz. What did he do? 6 of 15, not any better. 79 yards, worse. 0 touchdowns, worse. No interceptions, better. So overall, Carson Wentz wasn't playing good either, and that's what we know. Carson Wentz hasn't been getting it done. The running game wasn't getting it done really either. Miles Sanders, 10 carries for only 31 yards. Nothing too great there. Receivers, we got Dallas Goedert, 5 receptions for 66 yards. Greg Ward, 3 receptions for 57 yards. Then we got Jalen Reagor, 1 reception for 34 yards. So nothing too great, but I mean, you switch quarterbacks halfway through the game. You're not looking for Jalen Hurts to do anything too special. Now, I believe he did make this game a little close. Did he make it a 1-possession game at one point? Yes, they did. They made it 16-23 because of a punt return for a touchdown. So Eagles go down 23-16. Jalen Hurts has a chance. Unfortunately, on their next drive, they go five and out basically, and they're never able to kind of get full control of the game. So not great there. Let's go look at the Packers now. Aaron Rodgers, 25 of 34, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and he has thrown for a total of 400 touchdowns in his career. He's 400. His touchdown to interception ratio is the craziest thing I've ever seen. 400 touchdowns in total. He just passed 400 and only 85 interceptions. I mean, folks, we're talking 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. 2-to-1 is good. 2-to-1 is good. 4-to-1? Oh my goodness, that's unheard of. I don't think anybody has. I think he's the leading pass or touchdown to interception ratio. That's truly unheard of. So well done by Aaron Rodgers doing what he does, putting up 30 points, 3 touchdowns, not turning the ball over. And Aaron Jones had a monster game on the ground, 15 carries, 130 yards and a touchdown. And it looks like we have a new rushing champion for the week. Looking to be Aaron Jones, 8.7 yards a carry. I think who was it that had I think somebody had 8.4 yards. So well done there. Aaron Jones getting it done. Devontae Adams getting it done. Look at that, man. 10 receptions for 221 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, they've got so much talent. They can go to the running game. They can go to the passing game. They score touchdowns. You love to see it. 4 touchdowns. What did they settle for, a field goal once or twice? Did they even settle for a field goal? Yeah, there's one. So they only had to settle for a field goal once. That's pretty good. I like that. So that's Eagles Packers. We don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be next week for Philadelphia. Doug Peterson has come out and said that, he's still deciding on who it's going to be. So I would kind of assume it's going to be Carson Wentz, even though it probably shouldn't be Carson Wentz. They're still fighting for the division. So as long as they're still competing for the division, I expect Doug Peterson to rock with Carson Wentz, even though I think that is the wrong decision. I think the Eagles, they just need to move off of Carson Wentz. That's all there is to it. It's not that Carson Wentz can't play or he's a scrub. It's just the franchise and the player, they just need a new scenery. Carson Wentz, I mean, when you're the starting quarterback and you're the franchise quarterback, and then you get hurt and then the backup comes in and wins the Super Bowl, that fucks with you mentally, folks. I mean, and then they build a statue of that quarterback out in front of your home stadium, so now you have to be reminded, man, that's not me that brought home the title. They relied on another quarterback to get it done. And then he played his first NFL playoff game last season and he goes down first quarter, so all of that kind of fucks with Carson Wentz psychologically. He just needs a new start, a fresh scene somewhere. This Eagles team, they just need a fresh quarterback as well. You played the dual quarterback, you're always bracing for him to go down. You don't 100% trust him to stay healthy. It's been 4 years and every year he gets injured. So it's not that Carson Wentz can't play or that the Eagles hate Carson Wentz or Carson Wentz hates the Eagles. It's just mutually beneficial for both these teams to move on. Fresh start, clean slate. This history between these two have not been great, so I think they just need to move off of Carson Wentz. That's all. Alrighty, here we go in New England and the Chargers. And I mean, when we talked about this game on Sunday, we talked a lot about this Patriots team and how much we like them. So once again, you got to watch every day to get the best calls. And we called this one perfectly. Justin Herbert could do absolutely nothing against Bill Belichick's defense. So once again, when the debate between who deserves more credit, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick, it's a lot more 50-50 or 55-45 Bill, 60-40 Bill, Tom. However you want to call it. Coaching matters. To go on the road, I mean, New England's not that good. They haven't scored. When was the last time New England Patriots have put up 45 points, even with Tom Brady, folks? I mean, that was, surprising in itself. So not only does New England go on the road and their offense is truly great, scoring in every quarter, putting up 45 points. Cam Newton with 45 points. I don't know if he's ever done that himself. So a lot of wildness going on here this week. And then their defense just absolutely shuts out the Chargers. In another case for Anthony Lynn to be fired. I understand, the Patriots coming in and holding you to probably, 10 or less points, to put up no points, and to give up 45 to Cam Newton in this kind of weaponless New England offense. This is truly unacceptable, man. Anthony Lynn, he has to go, and it's nothing personal. It's just results. This is a business, and you have to win to be successful in this business. Ask Bill Belichick, who you just got blown out 45-0 about. So Anthony Lynn, I think he's got to go. Let's look at what Justin Herbert was held to. 26 of 53. They let this man throw 53 times. Oh my goodness. You have Austin Eckler back. Austin Eckler was destroying who they had last week. The Bills. The Chargers had the Bills last week, and Austin Eckler was running through all over them, and then they only rushed 8 times with them for 36 yards. They let Justin Herbert throw the ball 53 times. When did you think it was going to work? If it wasn't working in the beginning, it's probably not going to work at the end because you're facing a Bill Belichick-led defense. So not only did Justin Herbert only have 209 passing yards on 53 attempts, he had 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Let's see where these interceptions came from. Both coming on the third quarter, back-to-back interception drives there. Not good. Patriots cash in on 1 interception, so well done there. Would have liked to see him, but they cash in with a touchdown on 1, so very well done. And plus, they were up 28-0 going into half, 35-0 after the first interception, so they weren't too eager to really put up any points on the second interception. They're just looking to get out of here. So the running game was a little bit lackluster. Austin Eckler, Kellen Ballage only kind of rushed for 70 yards combined. Really want to see rushers over 100 yards by committee. Keenan Allen, 5 receptions. He was the leading wide receiver for only 48 yards, so they were just locking down the main targets, folks. You're not getting anything deep on us. You want to dink and dunk over the middle of the field, be our guest, but we know Justin Herbert can air it out, and we're going to cover the back of the field, and that's exactly what this Patriots team did. Not letting Justin Herbert throw all over him. I mean, he's only held to 209 yards. That's wild. All right, let's look at the Patriots now. Cam Newton, 12 of 19 for 69 yards, 1 touchdown. Folks, this is the defense we're talking about. Getting great field position for their players. Cam Newton wasn't doing anything. Here we go. Damian Harris, leading rusher, 16 carries for 80 yards. Then we got Cam Newton going 14 carries for 48 yards. He ran for 2 touchdowns himself. Then we got Sony Michel, third leading rusher for 10 carries for 35 yards. So getting it done multiple ways, multiple players, getting it done in the run game. I mean, Cam Newton, he only had, 69 yards passing. Jarrett Stidham also came in the game, 2 of 3 for 61 yards and a touchdown. When did this man get put in the game? Did he throw this last touchdown? They did. The Patriots got out to such a good lead that they benched Cam Newton for not being bad. How crazy is that? Wow, Jarrett Stidham comes in like halfway through the fourth quarter. Absolutely wild, and he leads them on a touchdown drive. So, wow. All right, I mean, these receivers, the leading receiver was Gunnar Olszewski, with 1 reception for 38 yards. I mean, there wasn't a lot of passing in this game anyway by the Patriots. So, I mean, for their weapons to have really any yards receiving, I mean, you just don't expect it. So, yeah, I mean, this was just a defensive battle. Chargers couldn't do anything. Patriots taking advantage of the shorter fields set up by their defense, and they take advantage. So that's what Cam Newton does the best, taking advantage of short fields, and he did it here to a T. So well done. Patriots absolutely blow out the Chargers 45-0, and now the Patriots are 6-6. Folks, it's Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, folks. Gotta respect him. Alrighty, here we go. Then, is this the last game? Oh, this is the last game, and then we'll get into our moneymakers for today's games. Here we go. Broncos, Chiefs. I mean, very well done by the Broncos here to keep the game close. They were 13-point underdogs, so they only lose by 6. That's decent. Broncos finally getting a quarterback back. Drew Lock, 15 of 28, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The gunslinger, Drew Lock, doing gunslinger things. Got picked off on their first drive. Luckily, they did not give up any points on it. And then his second interception comes, basically puts away the game, ices the game. 4th and 5 on their own 30. They're down 6. 30 seconds left. He just kind of heaves it, and it is an interception, unfortunately. So in the grand scheme of things, his interceptions weren't costly, really. Let's look at what else we got. Melvin Gordon, he had himself a great game as well. 15 carries for 131 yards. He also has 8.7 yards a carry, so well done by him. Melvin Gordon was really the only reason why they were kind of still in this game, because Drew Lock wasn't doing anything playing great. Melvin Gordon in this run game really helped the Broncos out a lot. And their defense holding the Chiefs to 22 points helps tremendously as well. Leading receiver for the Broncos is no other than Noah Fant. No surprise, tight end. Good receiving tight end that does run, deeper routes, and Drew Lock loves to hit him. Where Jerry Jeudy suffers a little bit, only 1 reception for 5 yards. So definitely have to get, your receivers a little bit more inclined into the game. We see Tim Patrick and KJ Hamler, the second and third leading receiver, but Tim Patrick only had 44 yards and KJ Hamler only had 16 yards. So Drew Lock not going to his actual wide receivers, and that always hurts the team. All right, let's look at the Chiefs now, and they struggled to score. I mean, they only put up 22 points. So Patrick Mahomes, 25 of 40 for 318 yards, still doing what he does. 1 touchdown. He also doesn't turn the ball over. Le'Veon Bell got the start here, and he had 11 carries for 40 yards. So they kind of did it running back by committee here. 40 yards by Le'Veon Bell, 38 yards by Darrell Williams. Tyreek Hill had a rush there for 30 yards. So just getting it done by more pieces. And Patrick Mahomes doing what Patrick Mahomes does with his legs, just getting the bare minimum, not trying to do too much. And that's what I love about Patrick Mahomes. So he only had 4 carries for 26 yards. I mean, that's fantastic. He doesn't try to make the explosive play with his legs, takes all he can get, kind of just uses it as a backup last second resort. Oh, nothing's open and I cannot try to do one of my flick throws or behind the back, so now I have to run it for 4 yards, 5 yards, whatever it is. And that's what we saw from Patrick Mahomes. And then Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill are the top 2 leading receivers for the Chiefs. No surprise here. Travis Kelce, 8 receptions for 136 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 6 receptions for only 58 yards. Probably could have had a lot more if he actually knew that he caught the ball. I mean, we all saw it. Didn't touch the ground. Should have been called. Everybody was on Twitter, was like, how do you not know you caught the ball? And I mean, like, folks, he never really caught it in his hands. It fell on his shoulder pads. He probably thought it bounced up on him. I mean, let's calm down. Everybody's like, I would have challenged that. That's clear as day. How do you not know this? How do you not know that? But I'm like, he never caught it with his hand. So yes, I mean, if you're going up for it and you missed the ball and then it just kind of lands in your shoulder, you're like, it probably rolled on there somehow. It hit the ground definitely. So I'm not faulting Tyreek Hill for not knowing. I'm not blaming Andy Reid for not challenging it. I didn't even think it was a catch watching it live. It had to be brought to my attention by the announcers and by the replay. So let's all calm down on Twitter. Everybody was really going, everybody rushed to Twitter. Everybody. I saw like 100 tweets of just that. Oh, how did you not know that wasn't a catch? Let's all relax a little bit, folks. Alrighty. So nothing too big in this game. Defensive struggle, defensive battle, and that's huge for this Broncos team because their defense showed up on the road. That's fantastic for them. So well done. Broncos, a little bit, competitive in this game, but the Chiefs, they keep some teams competitive. Not penalizing the Chiefs for winning a close game, not penalizing the not giving any credit to the Broncos for being in a close game, really. I still don't like Drew Lock. I like his arm. I think he's got a great arm. He's got a starting level quarterback caliber arm. Nobody's doubting that, but he's got to rein it in a little bit. Definitely needs more pieces as well, some good offensive weapons. But until he gets those, we really can't trust Drew Lock or this Broncos offense. Their defense is all right. Alrighty, we've got 2 games on today, folks. We've got 2 big games on today and a game tomorrow. So we're going to be making a lot of money in these next 2 days. So here we go. First game is starting at 5 o'clock, Washington versus the Steelers. And folks, I think I'm going to go Washington +6 here. We're going to take the points. I mean, we saw what the Steelers did against the Ravens, last week when they had a wild game that started at 3:30. It was wild. So close game, very, Steelers struggling to really score, but their defense, handling it. Now, I think Washington, what has been our mantra today, coaching matters. Ron Rivera fighting cancer. Everybody buys into this man. He's always had the respect of his players, even when he was in Carolina. The man's he's a player's coach, truly. Everybody buys into him. Everybody loves him. Washington, everybody's writing them off. They still have a chance to win the division. I don't think they will, but they still have a chance. I don't trust Alex Smith too much, but I'm going to trust just the heart and soul of this Washington football team. It's a wonky game. It's at 5 o'clock. Steelers, eager to play it. Washington eager to play it. Closer game than what people think. We'll take Washington +6. And then here we go, Bills and 49ers, and this one has been crazy, the spread. I think it originally started at Bills +1, then I think it was at a pick'em for a little bit. Now it's 49ers -1.5, and I like the 49ers here. I'm not trusting Josh Allen on the road just quite yet against the 49ers defense that has been getting better these last couple weeks. Richard Sherman's back in the lineup. I think Josh Allen throws at least 2 interceptions, folks. So not liking the Bills here. I think Nick Mullins, he's a decent quarterback. He's kind of a game manager, and he's acting like it. They just beat the Rams last week. They went into the Rams and they beat their defense. I mean, they put up 24 points. That's a win against that Rams defense. This Bills defense isn't as good as the Rams defense. It's still a good defense, but I'm not trusting Josh Allen. I'm not trusting the Bills here on the road. I'm trusting the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, and this 49ers defense at home. We'll take the 49ers -1.5. So we're going to take Washington +6. 49ers -1.5, and that's what are the odds here? 265. You put 500 on this, and you're walking away with $1,800. That's pretty good, folks, for one day. And then you take that $1,800 for tomorrow's game against Ravens and the Cowboys, and we'll come at you with that pick tomorrow. So win your $1,800. Come back to the show tomorrow, and we'll tell you how to double that $1,800 to $3,600. Alrighty, here we go. This is going to do it for us today. We just covered a nice groundwork of week 13. We'll be talking about, week 13 tomorrow as well with our cash and trash list and our power rankings, and we break down 2 games tomorrow. So a lot to do tomorrow. Wednesday, we'll break down games as well. We got to break down Ravens, Cowboys on Wednesday, and then we will do our film study on Wednesday, and then Thursday, we start talking about week 14. Alrighty, so thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. We're always here every single day, noon Eastern, twitch.tv/TakesByFans. We are Takes by Fans. You can follow us anywhere. You can find us anywhere. It's going to be at Takes by Fans. Alrighty, we're out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.